not to forget. And this lecture will be, I would say, brief introduction. First of all, brief introduction into requirements of the course, or as you will recognize, there are two courses combined here. There is course for bachelor students and as well as course for master students. Lectures are the same, only requirements are different. So that's necessary to say at the beginning. And then we will briefly introduce the environment of software with which maybe you are not familiar with, and which will be our main platform for this semester. And it is a freeware package called in English, I guess, Jamovi. So today we will make brief introduction into Jamovi environment. Maybe if I'm discussing about software packages, so I will make brief introduction into statistical packages we will be using here. If you would like to see this course in full, so it means all lectures in a free package JASP. So I recorded last year whole lectures that are developed in JASP. So all these lectures are available through my YouTube channel. And for this semester, once again, all recordings mainly in Jamovi will be also available through this JASP channel. But first of all, we will mainly use Jamovi. I will give you some more reasons in a few minutes. We will also, in most of lectures, apply some basic analysis through SPSS environment, as I guess you are mostly familiar with SPSS environment. And I will also sometimes show you how we can perform these procedures in JASP, which was the main platform last year. And now maybe some reasons why I decided to switch into Jamovi and why I decided maybe to show you more platforms. So first of all, I guess, and of course it would be nice if you let me know, that most of you are familiar with SPSS. So if you can raise up your hand via Zoom or here in the classroom if you're familiar with SPSS. Okay, so here in classroom, all people, and Zoom, I can see nearly for all people SPSS familiarity. So that's great. So that's, I would say, advantage that you know something in SPSS, and two non-commercial or freeware platforms that are very, very similar to SPSS are Jamovi and JASP. Maybe that you try to install these packages, maybe that you try to run these programs. And at least if you enter analytical procedures in Jamovi and JASP, you are nearly in SPSS environment. So it means that all dialogues are very similar. Also, the logic of dialogue, so it means differentiation between t-test for one sample, two independent samples, per samples, etc., is total analogy. So it is very easy to convert from SPSS environment to JASP or Jamovi. And I will give you also some brief information about these two non-commercial packages, and then I will try to explain why I decided for this semester to take Jamovi as the main platform. So first of all, we should go approximately 7 years back, so it means 2014. And in 2014, the idea that some non-commercial alternative to SPSS should be developed was invented by Professor Jan Wagemakers at Amsterdam University. And Professor Wagemakers created a team of developers and started to code the first non-commercial alternative to SPSS, which is very nice, I guess. And this package is called JASP. And then, unfortunately, it can happen. One of the best developers of JASP had some conflicts with Jan Wagemakers and left the team. And that's why this guy decided to develop the next platform, which is Jamovi. That's why we have Jamovi and JASP, two very similar non-commercial platforms with nearly the same capabilities. So that's maybe nice. I maybe would like to have only one package with more capabilities, but we have two very similar packages that are very, very close to SPSS environment. I will add also some basic information about programming logic, which is behind JASP and Jamovi. In spite of the fact that JASP and Jamovi is very similar to SPSS in their appearance, I mean that dialogues are nearly the same, the logic which is behind, so it means computation, are totally different. JASP and Jamovi are both graphical interfaces that are using behind the scene computations, and I would say very famous and maybe the best one statistical package, which is called R or R project. So behind JASP and Jamovi are R computing procedures, but you don't need to know how to make programs in R for JASP and Jamovi mostly. Sorry for some exceptions. We will also meet these exceptions during this course. If you like to know something about coding, it means programming in R, especially in Jamovi, it is very easy that for all procedures, I mean analytical procedures, you can click into option, I would like to see R code, and R code will be also included in the output. So by Jamovi, and that's the first reason I decided to use Jamovi for this semester, you can also, at least a little bit, learn to use R code. And it is very easy as you learn R code by clicking. That's the easiest option. Of course, you can also learn alone R code fully by programming, but it is not very pleasant style of learning, at least according to my experience. I will only admit 2 more students. I hope so. Here we are once again in total amount. So that's the first advantage of Jamovi, that for all analytical procedures, you can show syntax in our language. For JASP, there are also still in some procedures these options, but it is very, very limited. I know that JASP developers also promised to use full R commands, but still it's not implemented. So that's the first advantage of Jamovi. And as we will go through different analytical procedures, I will currently mention the contents of the course. So next week, we will, I would say, briefly recap discussion about correlations, at least about Pearson correlation coefficient. And then we will briefly recap, and we will also enter into new stuff in linear regression. We will spend approximately 2 lectures or maybe 3 on linear regression, so we will go into details. Then we will change regression style of thinking from linear models to nonlinear models, and we will introduce so-called logistic regression, which is mainly designed for explaining variables that are not long cardinal scales, but are only limited by 2 categories. So they are binary, or they have a low number of categories that are ordinal or nominal. So we will switch into the topic of non-linear regressions, or in detail, we will be using logistic regression. And then we will switch into slightly different topics. If we would like to use SPSS, there will be no chance, as these procedures are not implemented in SPSS. And we will be discussing about so-called structural equation modeling. If I very easily explain what is structural equation modeling, so it is some combination of regression models and also factor analysis. I expect that most of you previously discussed about factor analysis during lectures. If not, don't be afraid of it. We will start with the easiest model of exploratory factor analysis, and then we will enter into so-called confirmatory factor analysis. And once again, if we would use SPSS, there would be no chance for the structural equation models. We would need to apply, once again, commercial package called AMOS, which is related to SPSS. But I decided that maybe it would be better to use non-commercial packages, as you would have option to use it also in your life. So that's why we would be applying these computations in GEMOVI and CHESP that covers all these topics in structural equation models. Once again, behind the scene, there is R for our project. Last step for these lectures will be discussion and also examples of so-called latent class analysis. This technique is similar maybe that if you previously discussed about cluster analysis, which try to find some groups in your data. Latent class analysis is also trying to find some groups of respondents with similar patterns of the responses. Only the big difference between basic algorithms of clustering and latent class is that clustering is mainly designed for cardinal data. So it means, once again, long scales with many options. For latent class analysis, we expect that we have binary variables as the source or set of nominal variables. So in general, we usually discuss in social science statistics about categorical data. So if you have some set of categorical data in your responses, and you would like to find some types of respondents to make type logic, so latent class analysis is maybe one of the best. And if I try to finish the circle of reasons why I decided to use GEMOVI for this semester, this is the advantage of GEMOVI in comparison to CHESP, that latent class analysis is included in GEMOVI. We need only to install some edit module into GEMOVI, but it is once again free. In CHESP, there is no such module currently. So we wouldn't need to convert to another package. I will show you also during the lecture devoted to latent class analysis how we can perform latent class analysis through SPSS. There is no intrinsic dialog in SPSS, so it means if you install SPSS, there is no latent class analysis. But there is an option, I guess, started in a version of SPSS 19, that you can join to SPSS R for R project. And through R, you can also run latent class analysis directly through menus in SPSS. So we will also enter into possibility how we can handle R through SPSS. It will be very similar to CHESP or GEMOVI environment. So at the end of the course, you will not be only fantastic analysts, but you would like also 3 packages, SPSS, GEMOVI, and CHESP. And I can promise that only for a minute, we will try to give you a taste of AMOS, which is commercial package for structural equation modeling. According to my opinion, still one of the nicest packages for structural equation modeling. The reason why we wouldn't use AMOS for this course is very simple, as we would need to buy licenses for AMOS, and it's quite expensive. Still, we need to buy SPSS. So you currently, I guess, installed SPSS into your computers. So that's why I decided not to buy also AMOS for this semester. So if I try to cover this topic of packages, we will be mainly using GEMOVI. If you like, you can use only GEMOVI for the whole course, but feel free also to use JESP only for latent class analysis. There is no chance to apply JESP. And for latent class analysis, you can also apply SPSS And also for regressions, linear and nonlinear, you can also apply SPSS. In your homework, and I will discuss about requirements and about all other necessities for this course, feel free to apply GEMOV, JESP, or SPSS. That's your decision. Maybe you should prefer GEMOV, but that's your decision. If you like more SPSS or JESP, that's your decision, and I will accept it. So that's the first information about the contents, about statistical packages. And if you have any question to this brief introduction, feel free to ask me. Then I will go briefly into requirements, and then we will briefly try to make introduction into GEMOV environment. But once again, don't be afraid of it. If you're familiar with SPSS, it's very easy to enter into GEMOV. So some questions before we start to discuss about requirements for the course or for the courses. Okay, so no questions. Thanks a lot. So I will start to share screen, and for some technical problems. Currently, it should be once again okay. And I will start to share my screen. And currently, we should go into SIS, and I will type the first code of the course, which is JSM 010. I think it doesn't matter which course you will enter into SIS. The description should be the same for both of these courses. And first of all, I will describe a difference between master degree course, which is JSM 010, and between bachelor, which is coded, if I remember well, JSB 526. So for both of these courses, you are expected to finish 5 homework assignments. So if you finish individual topics, linear regression, logistic regression, latent class analysis, factor analysis in exploratory style and confirmatory style. So for these 5 pieces, you are expected to fulfill your own homework. I will give you more information about homework later, but first information is following. You should ideally find your own data set. It can be data set for your bachelor master thesis. It can be data set that you find on the internet. That's your decision. And you should perform your own analysis on this data set. And of course, that for individual homework, you should perform different analytical procedures. So it means linear regression, logistic regression, exploratory, confirmatory factor analysis, and latent class analysis. The main goal is that you will try to analyze data alone, and you will maybe find some difficulties, and you will be able to apply these techniques individually. So that's brief information about individual homework. Once again, 5 homework are obligatory, and every homework will be evaluated from 0 up to 100%. So this is the first obligatory part of this course. For every homework, you will get 14 working days. So we finish linear regression in 3rd week. So you will need to finish your homework up to 5th week. So that's, I guess, still enough time, but I know it's quite time consuming. So that's why you will have 2 weeks for every homework. I'm not really sure at the beginning in which lecture we will finish individual topics. So that's why there is no fixed schedule currently, but every time we will finish topic, I will assign new homework and will give you 14 days. So that's about 5 homework assignments. And second part for both courses, so it means bachelor as well as master, is oral exam. So in examination period, so it means starting from the mid of May through June, and of course there will be also option in September. We will meet each other online, but I hope so, ideally, that we will meet physically. And we will discuss approximately 10-15 minutes about one analytical procedures. So individual questions for this whole exam are the same as individual topics for lectures. And for example, you will get question, okay, please describe the model of logistic regression. So you will need to describe which variables I would apply, which test can be applied, how we can interpret results, etc. So it means that these lectures are designed as lectures and seminars, and the theoretical contents from lectures will be discussed during all exam. And for those who are registered to bachelor course, so it means JSB 5 to 6, that's all. So 5 exam, all exam, and you will get your final grade. For master degree, as you get also more credits for master degree course, there is one more requirement, and students that are registered to JSM 010 are expected also to prepare the draft of scientific article. I will give you some example later, so it means you will get some example how to write a scientific article, but you are expected, usually I will give a deadline approximately at the end of June, so you should try to write your first maybe trial of scientific article. So it means you need somehow to take some theory, prepare hypothesis, then discuss about your data file, then analyze data and make some conclusions. I'm not preparing some special limits, but recommendation can be something like 15 pages should be prepared as this article draft. And all parts are evaluated separately, and then you can find here dates for final evaluation, and then final grade is based on classification that is applied to Faculty of Social Sciences. So it means starting from 51 up to 60 is E, etc., etc. So that's all for this introduction, and that's all for requirements. And maybe I would like to excuse that at the beginning I didn't mention my name, as you can see it, of course, here, and maybe most of you are familiar. Who am I? So my name is Peter Soukup. I'm mainly teaching statistical analytical courses at the Institute of Sociological Studies. So that's all about requirements and some basics. And now maybe once again, it's time for questions. So I will stop sharing for a minute. And if you have some questions related to the contents, requirements, and other stuff, feel free to ask me. Still no questions? That's great.
If I may ask, you have mentioned literature. You have literature mentioned below the syntax. And is it also hidden somewhere in the content of all the data we have there, or we have to somehow get these books by ourselves?
You are asking about literature?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, I will give you all literature sources that you need online in SIS. So all necessary books or articles you will get. I will also, for all lectures, prepare you PowerPoint presentations and data files you will be using.
Thank you.
So I hope that I answered your question. So some more questions? Okay, last one topic that should be discussed before we enter for the first time Jamovi is the schedule for this course. It means how we will organize time for this course. The course, according to the schedule, if I remember well, is designed from 8 to 10:50. And for this course, I apply, I would say very simply, changing of short and long lectures. So today, as I promised, we will finish approximately 9:20, but we would need more time for some of next lectures. So that's why we would be changing 80 minutes and 160 minutes. So 1 and 2 lectures. I can promise that approximately we will be changing these short and long lectures every week, but sometimes maybe they will be necessary for 2 short lectures and maybe necessary for 2 long lectures. But if we are currently nearly all here, if I try to find the amount, yeah, it seems that our list is nearly full, we should discuss about short lectures. It's very easy that a long lecture must start at 8 and finish at 10:50. There is no chance to change it. But short lecture can start at 8 and finish 9:20, or it can start 9:30 and finish 10:50. So now that's your decision. I have sorry for introduction. Maybe there is some problem with internet connection, but that's not my fault. So once again, we are discussing whether short lecture should start at 8 and finish 9:20, or start at 9:30 and finish 10:50. So what's your preference? Later option here in classroom seems as better. So what about those who are connected via Zoom?
Hi.
You can speak, you can use chat, yeah.
Yeah, for me personally, 8 o'clock would be better because I have a lecture from 9:30. Okay. But from my understanding, you're going to be recording the lectures anyway,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, all lectures will be recorded. I hope so. The technique will be functioning. So in chat, I can see 9:30 for some people. So for all the rest, they have no preference at all. Okay, so it seems that 9:30 is better. So I hope that at least if there will be a short lecture starting at 9:30, we will meet each other here in the Teklerská building. Okay, so okay, 9:30, but still we are discussing about next week. This will be the first option for longer lecture. So next week I can be slightly more polite, so we can start still at 8:10. Okay, so next week 8:10 up to 10:50.
So you'll tell us each week.
Yeah. Each week I will inform you about short or long lecture. I will try to change this every week, but sometimes we will need more or lower amount of time. It depends on topics, and it depends whether we will be quick or not. I guess that I teach this course approximately 8 years, and every semester is slightly different, as there is different groups of students, different amount of students. So I'm not able to make a fixed schedule at the beginning. Okay, so once again, for the next week, starting at 8:10 and long lecture. And once again, I can promise I will try to record all these lectures, and you will have an option to see these lectures online. And once again, all recorded lectures from the last year using JASP, and for latent class analysis, we applied M+, are also available. So you have more options. Maybe there will be some problem with recording from this semester. Still, we have some recording from the previous one. So that's all about basic requirements, about basic contents of the course. Maybe I will once again briefly share the screen and go to SIS, not to forget anything important. So here we are. So here you can see the contents. So that's very easy. And books that are described here as obligatory are maybe slightly controversial, as field textbook is designed mainly for SPSS, and we won't be using SPSS as the full title. I will also provide you textbook for GEMOVI. Unfortunately, it is not including latent class analysis, but most of all other stuff it is included here. And my first recommendation is maybe that if you would like to be familiar with GEMOVI and you would like to also use GEMOVI for introductory statistical procedures such as t-test, analysis of variance, and many other, so you can find many video recordings on YouTube about these topics, as we will skip this step and we will enter directly into correlation and regression stuff. So that's also an option. And there is also quite nice blog which is devoted to GEMOVI, so that's also good source for study. But once again, I will also upload textbook for GEMOVI, which is covering nearly all topics that are available through GEMOVI. So that's all for this brief intro. So I will stop recording as this recording won't be public, as it was only introduction to the course, and then I will start a new one recording about introduction to GEMOVI, and this will be May.